this is a very pertinent matter that we've been working on for the past 10 years odd, since 2016. I sort of share the sentiments that Tina raised with regards to you really arrive at municipalities and then people seem to be surprised. But during the last few years, especially the last 18 months, I think Mike and his team have done a great job in facilitating the ICF session so that everybody sort of was able to get to the same sort of environment and on the same hymn sheet. But one of the critical things I think that we've realized is that mSCOA wasn't just a financial compliance requirement. It really brought about the business transformation program involving all departments, all sectors in the municipality. And the true value of mSCOA is realized really when it becomes a common language that connects every municipal business process. So from the engineers to the community services areas to any of the areas, finance, corporate services, everybody needs to participate in the process or understand the language model that guides us through the mSCOA processes, because it touches really every municipal business process in the environment. Dumisani explained the significance of the integrated operating model in much detail, and that drives the whole process around good governance. We're faced with duplication of information, manual reconciliations. That intent leads to delayed reporting. The data quality is of concern. And something that we've realized and that we work with in our installed base or with our clients on a daily basis is to ensure that the digital maturity of the information in the core business systems, core business system can't operate independently, because if it keeps on doing that, then you'll never achieve the required digital maturity within the organization. And that's really what we have. So we've had all these silos of systems within the organization. But as we've moved through the last few years, we've realized that to get to that single version of the truth, it's really important that we consolidate as much of the processes in a single environment. That leads to, allows us to implement certain levels of automation, and those are supposed to improve our processes, the speed of execution, and not simply just digitize inefficiencies. So while we work through the process of digitalization, which is critical, I think Tina spent a lot of time on that, very, very important points that she raised. But digitization is very important. But through the process of digitalization, let's work at improving the business processes under execution. Now, we have the legislation, we've got the mSCOA, I don't want to sort of generalize, but we've got the ICF frameworks, we've got everything there. But the implementation will always be unique to specific environments, because there are certain very unique drivers that drive digitalization because of a host of reasons, community services delivery programs, etc. So, but what we need to be attentive to is that while we work through these processes of eliminating repetitive manual tasks and looking at workflow approvals and automated workflow approvals, that we work with a common goal to actually optimize the execution. So the worst thing that you could do is to take what you have manually, create a digital environment, and then you're worse off than you were before you start. Now, if we look at the issues with regards to automation or the benefits, it definitely leads to better governance. And we achieve that because we're not just simply making paperwork faster. We are actually automating a business process that allows our reaction speed to be near immediate. If you approve a building plan, a leave application, any component within the organization that you execute, if you press submit, it is approved. We've got legislative frameworks that say you've got 30 days to this and 25 days to do that. That's all fine. But with the implementation of what we are discussing today, we will get into a situation where if you press submit, all stakeholders are notified that your application has been approved. You can have your function in the park on Saturday afternoon. You can build the wall that you wanted to, and that's near immediate. But because of the automation, all the records are up to date. This financial system is up to date. The necessary invoicing is done. The process flows basically because of the benefits of the automation, aiding better governance, and then making ease of doing business with the organization a lot better, much better. Okay. Integration, what we found, it extends beyond the financial system because you've got disparate environments, disparate systems, asset management system, a GIS system, a HR and payroll system. You've got the supply chain management environment, document management, customer relationship management. There's various citizen engagement platforms. All these silos need to be broken down. And as Dumisani said this morning, a common API, common interface into your financial environment, into your core financial system, so that we can integrate the reporting. I mean, every operational decision eventually has a financial impact. And that's why integration is not necessarily, well, it's no longer optional. It's really becoming a way of doing business. This is the way that we execute the mSCOA framework, and this is the way that we realize the benefits that we want to see through a standardized chart at all municipalities. And I know it's different. It's very difficult to generalize because metros are a lot different than what we used to term B4 type of municipalities. They have the same compliance requirements, but the deployment, implementation, and the impact in a metro is just going to be a bit higher, significantly higher than at a smaller municipality. There's a comment this morning that I saw in the chat from one of the provincial departments, and they must also not underestimate their significance because it's important that from a provincial perspective, nationally, we have that enabling mechanism that will allow municipalities to enhance the benefits of the journey that we're on. Now, data is becoming an issue. This last few years, we've seen many data cleansing projects, data cleanups, data this, data that. Who owns it? Why is it not standardized? How should it be standardized? And most of those questions are being answered if you just look at the mSCOA framework. What Mike and his team have done is they've created really great data sets or examples of this is the way that we should move forward. Because data quality is becoming a lot more important than the quantity of data. We have a lot of data, but if that quality is not usable, it doesn't stand to benefit the organization. I mean, poor data leads to poor decisions. Now, good governance begins with trusted data. So the importance of ensuring that our data integrity framework is in place and that the data that we capture is stored in a compliant, usable manner is critical. Maybe just sort of before I close, if we look at the implementation, when we started with mSCOA, many organizations treated this as a IT project, IT transformation initiative. But where we've seen successful implementations is where it was treated as a digital transformation and a strategic business initiative by the municipality. Now, we've all had mSCOA forum meetings, and we still perhaps have those. Some of us having those meetings because we have to, but in certain environments, we're really using that as a digital transformation framework, creating that framework, and then ensuring that the whole initiative is treated as a strategic business initiative. And it's important to understand that technology supports the transformation, but good leadership enables it, and that is critical. Now, the collaboration, as I touched on it in a specific collaboration across sectors, I touched on it earlier, but that sort of really involves the National Treasury, system vendors, the provincial treasuries, auditors, industry experts, involves all of us, because if everybody works together in a team, we will accelerate the innovation and definitely reduce the duplication of effort. The future of local government lies in shared knowledge and common standards and collaborative innovation. We are all in this together. And I also think we mustn't underestimate the significant changes that we've experienced in local government finance since 2016, maybe after COVID 2020. Every year, every quarter, reporting and compliance frameworks are imposed and enforced. Our strings are submitted automatically. If the string is not green, it's a critical situation. It impacts our forecasting. It never used to be this alive, this sort of immediate. Now, within a few hours, if the strings don't balance, then you get a call because you might have an unfunded budget, or somewhere in the TV something's wrong. It's near immediate reporting, but it's not local, it's national. It's available on the national dashboard and it can be seen. So manipulation of information is really becoming near impossible. Our general feeling is that as municipalities continue the digital transformation journey, we shouldn't simply measure compliance with the mSCOA. We should really look at how effectively compliance enables integrated business processes. Better integrated business processes leads to better governance, leads to better decision-making, and ultimately improved service delivery. So, Zolani, in conclusion, I think one of the real opportunities lies in moving beyond the compliance framework and towards becoming a fully data-driven municipal environment within the South African context.